So, welcome to Fight Talk. This is a new segment that we are doing here, and we're going to interview some people and talk about some fighting. Me and Dakota both are two avid people that like to beat each other up sometimes, and also we really enjoy watching people beat people up. And if anybody ever has an opportunity, more than happy to beat you up. So, we're both probably more than happy to beat you up.
Beat people up, man.
You don't want to?
I want to kill them.
Oh, that's dangerous. Well, I don't want to kill you. Most likely, what's funny is that I really do love punching people in the face.
I just love the sport of fighting in general.
Yeah.
Because when I fight, I just get happy.
Yeah, I do really enjoy it. And what I enjoy, I've realized, is that from starting with boxing and then doing jiu-jitsu now, I get so much more satisfaction from choking somebody than I do punching them. Because punching them and like I enjoy like in a fight, I enjoy the setup of the punch. And I think when we fight, you can probably see that a little bit as like I'm very like hands in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy hitting you with something that when I know you didn't see it,
and then
I like get this like ha
yeah,
like gotcha yeah, but there's nothing like we can go back to like Mighty Mouse and I can't remember who he fought, but he went for this like the single leg or went for a takedown or a body toss or something, and he like he literally threw him up in the air and then flying armbarred him while they were basically both in midair.
Yep.
Yes, right? Like there's nothing like you
Beautiful.
You can knock people out. Like there's been amazing knockouts. The coming up in this fight card currently, the Jorge Masvidal when he kneed Ben Askren in the face in a 5-second knockout, which was incredible. Did I not say this dude's gonna knock this dude out? Nobody should be fighting when you look like Ben Askren.
That's true.
Like,
That's
dude,
true.
I get that you're like a wrestler and you're in shape, but like, what is up with you, bro? Like, you don't. I feel like you kick him in the stomach or like that. If I fought Ben Askren, it would be body shots all day.
Well, yeah,
He's got a weak core.
He does have a weak core. If
It
he did
looks
a couple
like a
more
weak
crunches,
core. Yeah,
maybe we'd be talking about
weak core and obviously a very weak chin. But I guess
think
when
you
you're
need to
taking a
work
knee,
out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you haven't been keeping in shape. I mean, I'm not one to speak.
well,
but
he's
at the
retired
same time-
now, so
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
crazy
like,
though
if
because
you were
he
fighting-
was.
Come on,
I don't know if he was Bellator champion or FS1 champion, but he was. That's why he got the fights that he got in the UFC because he was a previous champion of another.
Well, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, fighting federation or whatever. But Jorge, George, my dog Masvidal came in with that knee and gave him that 2-piece and that 1 knee soda, son. He put him out. He put him out so fast. It was amazing. But I would put the flying armbar
Oh, yeah.
over that.
I mean, just the technique alone and the sheer agility to actually execute and
yeah,
successfully, by the way.
extremely successfully.
You have to have so much core strength and
He
so much
picked a person
control
up.
of the situation. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
and when you in jiu-jitsu, like when you can fight somebody and stand up and fight somebody, even if you're good at it, even if you're a good striker, there's still there's a little bit of uncertainty, right?
If they trip you,
If they get you, or if they just connect in the right spot if they get lucky, right?
and
Like
you
the
get
knee to the
way-
face, like it just so happened Ben Askren went for the takedown and he got the knee. If Ben Askren came out standing up,
oh, yeah.
the knee wouldn't have been there, right? But he immediately, because he's a wrestler, he
Went
was like,
down.
takedown. So he threw the knee. Masvidal knew that. Bing, bang, boom, fight over. But if they were standing and it's like, oh, yeah, you might get a lucky shot, right? You might get that one punch, the guy moves wrong or he wasn't paying attention, whatever. But when you're on the ground with somebody and there is clear superiority, like it is clear
It's visible.
Yeah.
It's extremely visible to everybody
There's-
around, and you can feel it if you're in the
Yeah.
fight and you
Yeah.
know somebody else is.
You take their, like, you
Just
can
toying
beat
with
somebody up, right? And it's like, oh, you got lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you manhandle them on the ground, you take away their manhood, you take away their confidence, you take away their...
Don't take away their manhood, dude. Calm
You
down.
do. You do. Because you are no longer in that situation the alpha male. You're now just a little beta, because this dude is... No, and you know what's crazy is that there's people that it's like, doesn't matter how big you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you got an arm or you got a neck or a leg or an ankle or a
Everybody's got a
shoulder
weakness,
or
man. Everybody's got a
or a
weakness.
toe or a heel. That's the thing.
An Achilles heel.
Yeah. It really, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, if it's there, it's going.
And
It's going to get broken or choked.
During the match, and you just wait and you feel each other out. You try and look for those weaknesses.
Bing, bang, boom.
And you find that one thing, just if it's for a second.
Yep.
Like he doesn't like
They
to
breathe.
put his weight.
They go to breathe.
Or they go to breathe
Yeah.
weird. Oh,
You're
got
sitting
it.
there. You're
They're
sitting there
done.
and you're at this stalemate.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you hear him go, and then you're, and you know what I mean? And you're gone. And they're no longer, the situation's over. I'm sorry. But it's like, so anyways, let's talk about the fights. I'm very excited, and the reason why I'm so amped right now is because this is probably, I don't think I've ever bought a pay-per-view ever in my life, but this is guaranteed, I'm a Conor McGregor fan.
Yeah,
And I didn't even buy a Conor McGregor pay-per-view. Because I know those fights probably wouldn't last long.
We went to Duffy's.
Yeah, you just go to Duffy's or go somewhere else. But these fights, man, these are... I'm just going to run through all the fighters real quick.
Go ahead.
Of the main card. Just so we can put the heat on and show how significant this is. First up, the main event, right? We have Kamaru Usman, right? Versus Jorge Masvidal. Now, I was just talking a lot of good things about Jorge Masvidal.
Kamaru Usman's gonna beat him to the ground.
He's gonna beat him and pummel his face and show him who the real champ is.
Little bloody puddle.
I love Jorge and my dog. If you ever watch this, I love you, man. But
there is a
Kamaru,
beast of a Neanderthal about to beat you down, dude.
You can call him Kamaru, you can call him Marty, you can call him whatever you want.
Or
this
Usman.
dude is a monster. He's got hands. After that Kobe Covington
Bricks,
fought,
cinder blocks,
What?
man. That's not
dude,
hands anymore.
dropping the hammer, son. I mean, first of all, Kobe Covington is no joke, right? We know that he's a trash talker, but the dude's no joke.
No.
And Kamaru Usman showed him who the superior... And I know Kobe Covington's like, oh, well, I kicked him and it was a stomach kick, but they said it was a cup kick and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter, dude, because guess what? You lost. You got
That's
knocked
the whole
out.
point.
If you went the whole fight, right? If he survived the 5 rounds and put up a good fight, then I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Sorry.
So intense.
I get it. But you got knocked out.
Yeah.
So you have no argument. So you got lucky with the kick, if anything. Because he knocked your ass out. So now, Kamaru Usman is coming to defend it. And originally it was Gilbert Burns, who starched Tony Ferguson. Who made Tony Ferguson look like he should never have started fighting. I mean, it's the sad truth. He gave him the hands. He gave him the business. He dominated him in every situation. I think he won every round. I would have to rewatch it, but I think
he did.
I don't remember if the judges gave him every round. And you can't really go off the judges, but I think he won every round. He dominated every round.
We watched that fight.
We did, yeah. We
Yeah,
definitely
and
did.
we usually
no way
judge
I
fights.
missed that fight.
No, we usually judge fights like judges.
Yeah, I haven't missed a fight, I don't think, in the last year.
Yeah.
I don't think I've missed a fight.
I'm pretty sure I've watched every fight with you for the past year.
Probably, yeah.
So
it is going to be a tough fight, but I do think that Kamaru Usman, I think that he's going to be smart. I think that he's going to go out with the hands and make him think about the hands and then go and take that takedown and smash his face. Because I think that Ben Askren was not smart enough. He was a one-dimensional fighter. He's a wrestler. He's going to take you down, submit you, or try to hit you. and the punches probably won't hurt that much. But Kamaru Usman, he's a very mental, a lot of fighters. He's one of those fighters that mentally he's got this.
100%.
So I think that's a lot has to do with him. He never made the Olympics, but he trained at the Olympic training grounds for a really long time, trying to make the Olympics. And I think that perseverance and training with the top level guys and to keep that mental state and to not give up, I think that puts you on a different level.
100%.
And now Jorge Masvidal, also 13 years in the game, was fighting with Kimbo Slice on YouTube.
God rest his soul.
The guy is a warrior and he's a great fighter. But I think Kamaru Usman, and I could be completely wrong, but I think Kamaru Usman is just on a different level. I think, and it's not physically or fighting wise or technically. I think it's mentally. I think he might be on a more serious level than Masvidal. But I could be wrong. What do you think? Who do you think's going to win the fight?
Kamaru Usman. Okay. I'm just saying.
That's one for one.
Just body type and determination and general feel of the fighters.
Yeah.
This dude's got it in the bag.
This guy is an African beast, dude. He is straight bred from Africa. His stature, he's a monster.
Oh yeah.
He's a scary individual to if you had to stand across the cage from that person. It's a pretty scary dude to you're about to go and fight, right?
Oh,
he's a powerful guy. He's an elite wrestler. So we'll find out, right? So next up, whoo! My man, Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski.
You really think Max Holloway's gonna win?
I do. I hope so. I really hope. I love him. He's Hawaiian. I like his vibe. I like his brother. I like his.
Because you like a guy doesn't mean he's gonna win, man.
Now, Max Holloway may be the greatest featherweight of all time.
Yeah. I can believe that.
The people that he's put out, and I know people, I'm sure, you're going to be like, he's just saying what everybody else says. But it's when you think about it, it's the people that he's fought, his record, and the what he produced in those fights. It's not more so about, the people he beat, because like we just said, anybody can get lucky.
Right, but he was just very...
Yeah, it's the caliber of person and the way he beat him.
Very experienced fighter.
Yes. And I love his story. I love the fact that when he started fighting, he just would learn his moves from playing UFC.
Oh, yeah.
He'd play the UFC game, say, oh, this combo works okay, and then he'd go try it in the gym, and I'm like...
Work smarter, not harder, man.
Obviously, they already put the moves in there, right? UFC fighters go and they put these little green dots on so that they could show their moves that it goes on there.
He took it to a different level. He used technology to get him ahead.
Yeah.
And that is the smartest person in the UFC, probably.
And he's also one of... If you watch the very end of the fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, first of all, when he lost, his son was in the ring with him. Obviously, he expected to win, but to be a person to show how to lose to your son, right? He didn't complain. He didn't say, "Oh, this guy, I should have won." Blah blah blah. And it was a great fight. Max Holloway did get dominated, and a lot of it was to do with the leg kicks, and it just showed to the judges he's just putting more damage out there, and he was. Every time Max went in, Volkanovski countered and came out with a counter. Every time they exchanged, he ended with a punch. So I give it to Volkanovski, and he is a great fighter. That's why they call him Alexander the Great Volkanovski. He is a phenomenal fighter, right? But the way Max Holloway, he went on the thing and he's like, look, we lost, we learned, and we're going to get this one back. He's like, I'll be back. This isn't the end, right? And then, but I think the key point to that was he showed his son, because it wasn't about winning or losing a fight in that moment. I think it was about being an example and showing his son how to be a man in that
100%,
moment, right?
100%.
And I thought that when I saw that, I was like, I'm on the Max train, dude.
100%.
Yeah, I'm on the Max
100%.
Holloway train, because I have crazy respect for that guy. I thought that was super cool. And Alexander Volkanovski, though, the dude's no joke. He's a serious serious fighter.
More than 50% of his wins were knockouts. So
he's a great fighter, and also not to mention that the people he has in his corner, right? I mean, he's got the team, right? He's training in the same gym as Dan Hooker, who we just saw go to war with Dustin Poirier, which might have been, I almost cried watching that fight.
It was a good fight.
I'm not even kidding.
That was a really good fight.
I was like, the people put I don't
he was
even know
speechless.
Jesus. They put their hearts out there, and that's one of the reasons why I love fighting so much is because when you go out there and you fight, you are fighting for your life because anything could happen.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these people have families, but these two guys went out there and
gave it their all.
They left it all there, everything, and when they left. They left everything that they were before in that ring, and now they're new men coming at it.
Transcended.
You know what I mean?
Almost.
And you could see that after that fight, the respect they had for each other, everything. I was just like, fight, and because it wasn't just, again, it's not just the fight that makes it the fight of the year. It's the way it was fought, and I'm excited to see this 5-round banger of a fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway because I think it's going to be an incredible fight. I think Alexander Volkanovski, clearly he said it in all of his posts and all of his things, he feels disrespected because nobody gives him the credit. I mean, I just sat here and did it just now when I was on Max's team, right? Because I was like, oh, well,
Max
if he
all the way,
get it back, right? But
you can't.
He wants to go out and put him away.
But here's the thing, he's complaining about, oh, nobody's on my team. Listen.
Well, he's not
everybody's.
complaining.
No, I'm just saying, everybody's more emotionally involved in Max Holloway.
Yeah. But I think
because they love the guy.
But in Volkanovski, I think this is where he's dangerous because he wants to go make a statement that I am no joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going out there to be he's gonna show him oh, you thought this was a fluke, and then he's gonna put Max Holloway out.
Yeah.
And that is to be completely honest, I can see that drive, you could see it. You know what I mean? That he's not saying it to play this role. He's like, oh, I need to show that I'm the greatest.
Right.
And the only way to be completely honest, they can have another 5-round fight and it goes the full 25 minutes and they go out and they go to war. And Alexander Volkanovski, and he could dominate the whole fight again.
Right.
And he still won't get that respect unless he puts him away. That's the difference.
True.
Max Holloway can win this fight any way he wants.
He could lose this fight and
he
still gets the respect. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
And Alexander Volkanovski, he is the champion.
But nobody respects him.
Nobody respects him, and he needs this. So, and this is where I'm switching, right? I'm going with Alexander Volkanovski.
Wow.
And because I'm about heart. I believe more in a person's heart. I mean, 100% you have to have ability, right? You have to have the technique.
Right.
I understand that. But I think heart goes a long way. And I think Max Holloway, don't get me wrong, he's got heart, experience. He's a great person, a great father, a great fighter. But I think Alexander Volkanovski has more to prove. And I think that he's had a really great training camp. He's got great corner.
Mm-hmm.
He's got great training partners. Max Holloway says that he's been training on Zoom, whether that's true or not. I don't think that he had the camp that Volkanovski had. Volkanovski had a real camp. He's in New Zealand or Australia, and they have 0 coronavirus cases or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And but obviously they're quarantined, doing the right thing.
Right.
But because of that, gyms have been open the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He can, or whatever. He's able to train. Max Holloway, they're getting fined if they have people train at their house and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think a camp and fighting with somebody is very important. And he said that he didn't spar at all. So I think that's important. I mean, I think that, and we knows that, if we don't spar for a long time,
obviously
I
your
deteriorate
skills
for sure.
go down.
Yeah, 100, and I can feel it while I'm fighting. I can feel the deterioration. Now, next up. So who do you pick, by the way? Max or Volk? Are you going against me or with me here?
I think Max Holloway he has too much behind him right
Write
now.
down our picks too, so that when I speak to Rob, we can go through. So we both pick Usman. We both. Who'd you say?
I picked Usman.
No, who do you say, Max or?
Oh, I picked Max.
Okay. All right.
Because.
Okay. Alrighty. So next up, Peter or Peter or how do you say that in Russian? Petr Jan. I think he's saying Piotr now, but Peter Jan. Piotr is fighting for the bantamweight title. Obviously, Henry Cejudo just relinquished his belt. He retired as Triple C, champ. He's the Olympic champ, and he's also got 2 UFC titles. And then he quit after he defended it against Dominic Cruz, who also is one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. Love the movement. Keep it up, bud. But he's gone, so there's an open title. And I also...
Well, I mean, like...
And a lot of people are saying that Jose Aldo doesn't deserve it. Because if you remember the Marlon Moraes fight, he lost the fight. But Marlon Moraes won. But if you rewatch that fight, I know that that's how it went. And I thought Jose Aldo won that fight. But I think at the time, I was a Morales fan. Mm-hmm. So I was just hoping that he won and glad that he won.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think Marlon Moraes is probably one of the baddest dudes alive. If you rewatch his fights, he's a monster.
Absolutely.
But Jose Aldo also equally a monster. I think he's like 32, and a lot of people think he's old because he's been doing this for so long.
Well, I mean, after a while, this sport does take a toll on your body, and you will look like
older.
Ground meat by the
How
end
old
of
is
it.
You
33.
33. Not that old. Not that old, especially for a UFC fighter. 35.
He's still
probably limit 35.
His face isn't exactly
no, he's
showing his age.
Tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this guy Peter Yan is a Russian, so he's 27. He might as well have had a million fights. Who knows? In Russia, they fight like every 10 minutes, I think, or something. I don't know. You know how you know
they come
Russians,
out the womb fighting.
Like, you know how you know Russians are badass?
They fight bears?
No, well, that, but also because the only fights where it's like 8-on-8 and those fights, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's only in Russian.
Really?
I think it's only Russian when you go and watch them. Everyone that I've seen, it's Russia. It's in Russian, and they're just Russian guys fighting each other.
Animals.
8 people, and they're all in a cage. And they put like 8 people or they put 16 people in a cage, or 4-on-4 or whatever, and they fight. But like, one guy can knock a guy out and then go help his friend. It's awesome. Go check it out on YouTube. It's really great if you like watching craziness happen. So, anyways, Peter Yan, Jose Aldo, crazy Russian guy. Not crazy, but really great fighter. He's a Russian, so you know he's great. Jose Aldo, Brazilian, he's great. He's great. I don't know. You just pick these countries make great fighters.
Lineage of fighters. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you want to be a fighter, you probably should have been born either in Brazil or Russia. To be honest with you,
Jose Aldo, king of leg kicks, doesn't really leg kick anymore. By the way, one of the first guys to put somebody out in the UFC with leg kicks.
With a leg
kick. I think that might have messed up his legs because he doesn't do a lot of leg kicks, and I wish I knew why. I wish we could talk to these people.
Well, you don't want to screw your own legs up.
Then he can never fight again.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just damaging yourself, man.
Yeah, so to be honest, they're both remarkable fighters. I'm very excited to see this fight.
But who's your pick, dog?
Yeah, that's very tough. I've been thinking a lot about this fight, and to be honest, I'm going to go with Peter. Jan, because I think that he's a younger fighter. He's got more hunger, and I think that the reality of it is, and I think this is kind of disrespectful to Jose Aldo in a way, but I think that if he loses this, he's done.
Oh yeah, he should retire at this point.
I
Like
think
he's
gonna
got
retire.
over
He's
30
still
fights in his
one of the
belt, man.
greatest fighters to ever do it in the UFC, regardless of win or lose.
100%. I mean, he's got history.
I mean, he was the champ for a very, very long time. And but I do think that Peter Yan is. I mean, when you watch this dude fight, you could see the havoc.
Let's get a new generation
I mean?
in, man. You know.
Yeah, I think Jose Aldo will. I think this is
it'll be
Jose
a great
Aldo
fight.
passing the torch.
I think it'd be a great fight.
I think Peter Yan puts him out in the second round.
I'll give it third.
Yeah, okay. It's gonna be second or third. I don't think it'll go 5 rounds though, because I think Peter Yan, he's such a great striker, good wrestler. I think, and Jose Aldo is both of those things also.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that Peter Yan is faster, and he has better time, and he has not better timing, but he has good timing. And what did McGregor say? Timing beats speed any day.
Yeah.
And I think his timing is. I've watched his fights, and I think his counter punches and his fact that he has that like Russian mauling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll run you down.
It's from training with bears.
Yeah, I think that Peter Yan wins. I
can see that 100%. I think just statistically speaking, Peter Yan is younger. He's got the same reach, but at the same time, he's Russian. They're just naturally born to like come at you, keep coming, and not back down. I don't think Jose Aldo is actually prepared for that.
Neither of them have ever been submitted.
So I just think, from a standpoint of statistics,
I don't think it's
going to
be a wrestling match.
No, I don't think it's going to be a wrestling match at all.
I think they're going to go out and fight.
I think that Peter Yan is just going to keep going at him, though, and keeping the pressure on him.
I think he's going to have that young, like...
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get at.
I think that's and that's the same thing for me, is like, and I really did think that was going to be the difference, is the speed, the timing, the accuracy, and the youth.
It just comes down to who's got the sharper body, who's got the sharper perception.
I just think conditioning-wise, Peter Yan might be better conditioned. I think that Jose Aldo has had many weight cuts and has had a lot of fights.
His body just can't take it no more, man.
Yeah,
his body cannot take
And when I
that.
saw after the Marlon Moraes fight, he beat him.
Yeah.
He beat Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes won. It was a close fight, but I think it was clear in the last couple rounds that he won. And he looked great. He looked like the old Aldo. You know what I mean? But I just think that might have because he thought that he deserved that fight. I thought that he deserved that win, and I think that might have messed with his head. Because Jose Aldo's a guy that if you get in his head, a lot of these Brazilian fighters, you get in their head, and they get angry or they feel like they're not respected, and you could tell that...
That's when you mess them up.
Yeah, messes him up. You could see like Chael Sonnen did to Anderson Silva. Now Anderson Silva went and choked him out the one time and all that. But I just think I think that Jose Aldo is not all there. For some reason, I just have this gut feeling that he's not all there.
He's not going to be mentally in the fight.
Yeah. I hope if he comes out and fights the way he fought Morales, he'll win. 100%.
I don't think so, man.
He will.
He's not that person no
He
more.
was so... but I think that fight took it out of him. I think it did. I think that if he won that and then fought Peter Yan, I think that it would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think his confidence and his drive and his... Because when you're coming off a win, your confidence is different, right? And you're coming off of a loss that was supposed to be a win... And now you're going to go fight this guy, and it might go to the judges, and then you get another law, and all these things are running through his head. So then he's going to be trying to put him out. Peter Yan's going to be calm, young, fast.
Very true.
You know what I mean? That's where I was going with that, in my head at least. Same as you. So both Peter Yan, right?
Yep.
All right. Next up. I am more excited than any of these fights because Rose Namajunas is my girl. When I saw her for the first time, I think I saw her fight Joanna Jonchakoff or whatever her name is.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that was her name.
it was either that or the Michelle Waterson fight, or no, because Michelle Waterson fight was before Andrade.
Yeah.
So I saw a couple fights before that, but
in any case,
just the ability of this person. When you look at her, you're like, oh, this is a normal girl, like
no, she's
size
not.
Human being. What is she? What does it say here?
Like 115.
65. What is she? So 5'5", something like that. 5'4".
She's 5'5".
5'5". So 115 pounds.
Like,
that's like my sister.
Nothing, man.
That's like my mom or my sister.
But she's a straight up murderer.
Murderer. Just her striking ability. And this is the thing, like,
oh my god,
her fight against
pinpoint
Jessica Andrade,
accuracy.
when we were watching that fight, it was clear. In my head, I was like, oh, so this is like a sparring match, like, because Rose was piecing her up.
Mm-hmm.
Rose was giving her the
I
business.
thought we were watching her train.
Yeah, it looked like the Conor McGregor when he fought. What's that guy's name? Anyway, it just the I can't even think of the guy's name. That's how bad he beat him. But it's just the skill. You know what I mean? She
came out without a scratch on her. I'm pretty sure within the first round, she didn't have a punch land on her.
Yeah, she just wrecked.
It was just ridiculous.
Her. And Andrade just got lucky. She got lucky. She slammed her on her head. Let me slam you on her head. You know what I mean? And I get that that's okay. You're allowed to do that in the UFC. And there was jiu-jitsu wise, and wrestling wise, there's ways to prevent what Andrade did to her.
Right.
But obviously in that moment and whatever, or you didn't turn your hips just enough, or whatever the case was, because the first time she tried to do it to her, she stopped it.
Right. But nobody expects to be slammed on their head.
On their head, yeah.
Because you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, not a Jessica Andrade fan at all. Not really a fan of her fighting. It's a lot of... I just don't enjoy it. She just doesn't have... There's nothing about her that makes me want to watch her,
not a crowd pleaser. She's not exactly a good person.
You know what I thought was super cool? When she fought... I want to say Michelle Waterson. We were watching the lead up to the fight or something, and she was saying that she doesn't lift weights. And she was saying that she wakes up and puts her 50-pound vest on, and then goes and
does her
day and trains and lives her life.
And when she comes back,
that's so awesome. I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. That's a cool way to train. I was like, that sounds like a great idea.
Some Dragon Ball Z type of stuff, man. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And her movement, her speed, her head movement, her kicks, and even her, like, big D energy in the cage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? She's a very shy, like, it seems like, and obviously I don't know her, but, like, she just seems very, like, introverted, right?
Well, she explained, like, during her fights, I got anxiety, and, like, I'm a very nervous person. I keep my dog with me all the time, like...
But she...
In the ring, you don't see that, though.
Just pure dominant, the stance, the bouncing
She's
back, the kicks, her precision of her kicks.
So cool to watch.
And you know what I saw, like, the Michelle Waterson fight, when she threw that body kick to Michelle Waterson, I was like, oh, that hurt her for sure. And she rubbed it off or whatever, but then she threw an epic head kick. And if you watch that head kick, and I don't know, and you got to give it up for the karate hottie dude, because that girl took that head kick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, she dropped her, but she survived. And that is insane.
Yes.
Because that head kick was vicious. And it was so, like, that's what we mean by timing beats speed, is that
100%.
That precision, the movement. She threw a punch. She stepped, kicked. She knew where she was going to be. She knew, I don't need to go to the body right now. I just went to the body, so she's thinking about the body. Go to the head. Everything about it was so perfect.
Her reach is only 62 inches, so I just need to be 63 inches away. I'm just going to barely get the wind on me.
Yeah.
Great fight. Great fighter.
Great fight. Now,
who do you think's going to win?
Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, what? Rose all
right,
day.
man. I just had to write it out, man.
Thug Rose. She's a G. I love her with all my heart. I think seems like she's a cool personality, and I do cling to the personality of the fighter too. I just super awesome.
I like the personality of the fighter, but also I gotta see statistically.
Yeah.
I gotta see the person fight.
Yeah, I think Andrade is just this man of
fight.
a woman that is just going to try to maul her again and Rose is going to be smart and not get put in the same situation, just piece her up.
Yep.
She's going to pop, move, head kick, pop, move. And this is the thing. Andrade got lucky with the slam because if you want to talk about superiority on the ground, it's Rose all day.
Oh, Rose has some great jiu-jitsu, bro.
Her jiu-jitsu is incredible.
She's got some great jiu-jitsu.
And her swiftness, I think she also is a flying armbar candidate in the UFC.
I believe it.
Not the same as Mighty Mouse.
But
I think she has thrown a flying armbar. So, like, just super cool, very technical. And I think that she's just a superior fighter, mentally, physically.
All around.
All around, technically, quickness. I think she's got her.
Now who we got?
So next up, we have Amanda Ribas and maybe one of the sexiest UFC fighters to ever live on the planet, Paige VanZant. I don't even know. I don't think anybody should ever hit her in the face. I think that when they fight, they should say only from the down.
Just the neck down, guys. Just the neck down.
Absolutely gorgeous. Just jaw-dropping, and I'm afraid of her.
Well, you know what they say about pretty girls?
5'4".
You know what they say about pretty girls who fight? They haven't gotten hit a lot.
You try to marry them?
No, yeah, that too. But I mean, like, they haven't got hit a lot. That's why they stay pretty.
Yeah, that's why they stay pretty. Yeah,
they get out of the way, man.
She's 5'4", 115 pounds, and what is she? 28?
26.
26 years old. Could probably be a supermodel. Instead of this,
but decided to straight up beat people down.
Yeah, she was like, you know what? I could be a model, but I think I'm gonna punch people in the face.
I'd rather kick people in the teeth.
Yeah, really awesome fighter. It is her last fight on her contract, and her husband fights for Bellator. So there's a lot of speculation right now because they do everything together. If you look at her Instagram and all of her stuff, I also follow her husband on Instagram because he is an awesome fighter.
Creepy.
But they everything they do, they do everything
right,
together.
Of course,
so
yeah, they're a couple.
Like, if you got to go, one person's got to fight here and train here, and then you got to go down here to fight and train. And
yeah, might as well just go to the same training place. I mean,
I'm sure they do the same training camps, but
look out, Bellator.
Yeah, here comes Paige VanZant.
Here comes the karate hottie.
Yeah, she's not the karate hottie.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's Michelle Waters.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Paige VanZant is a G though, and I don't really know a lot about Amanda Ribas. I did see the whole little promo videos that they did about her, and she does seem like a cool person. And
she's never been knocked out.
Unfortunately, I just have not really seen her fight.
She's 9-1, so.
And if I have she's 9-1.
Yeah.
Wow. So she's great.
So she's good. She's never been knocked out.
Well, I got to do my homework because I'm going to just go watch some Amanda Ribas fights. But for now, I'm going to go with my girl Paige VanZant because this is her thing, right? So if she puts on a great performance, knocks out or submits or wins this fight, she can sign a bigger contract over at other places, right?
Very true.
Or the UFC might be like, hey, let me give you that cash.
A couple more fights.
You know what I mean? You want to do 3 more fights, get that money.
Yeah.
So, could be awesome. So who do you go? I'm gonna have to opt out here. I don't know a lot about the other fighters, so I'm just gonna have to go with my girl Paige.
Well, I can understand that. But I'm looking at statistics, man.
Yeah, Ribas is a badass.
What I'm seeing is a Brazilian who likes to win, and she's about 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, well,
she's got 1 inch more reach.
Yeah, so if they weigh in at 115 pounds, then and then she eats and recovers, she will be at 125 for sure. 100%. So she will be bigger, and she will be stronger. And she has a better record, and she... What is her striking like here? Let's see her striking. Let's see what kind of matches is going to be here.
She's attempted almost 11 per minute.
She's got
Significant
great
strikes.
striking defense, though.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal. Paige looks like she eats a lot of strikes.
Statistically,
She
this
does.
is going to be a washout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess, sorry, Paige. Amanda Ribas is going to kick your
Amanda
ass,
Ribas, you're
dude.
going.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Amanda because I didn't look at the statistics, but this girl's might be one of my new favorite fighters. Just, I mean, statistically speaking, she looks exciting to watch.
I mean...
Now, a lot of her fights go to decision, but that could just be... She's never knocked anybody out.
No.
That's a... See...
But she submitted a third of all of her wins. So
yeah, she's
out of
Brazilian.
those 3 fights, she submitted
she
somebody.
She came out of the womb doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Let's be honest. So, yeah, I'm going to go with her. I'm gonna go with the Brazilian Amanda Ribas.
Okay.
All right? Well, that's that. We're not going to go through the prelims. There is some really great fights.
That'd be another podcast in itself, to be honest.
Yeah, there is some really great fights. I know a little bit about some of the fighters, but check it out. You watch those fights because those are the people that you're going to be seeing in the main events that are up and coming.
Someday.
Yeah.
It's their time to shine.
Yeah. So, or not. They might
or
just
not.
get beat up right now and then never fight again.
They'll never fight. Ever.
But go check it out. Go buy this UFC event because it's going to be sick. It's going to be a great fight. And I think it'll be worth the money. So
Or don't, and then come back to this channel and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that was, yeah.
That was Fight Talk.
That was Fight Talk.